I'm here in Temperley Place. I'm just having the New Year's Eve with family. And this is requested by your EDMOND from Liaison Office, New York, ICC, International Criminal Court, as well by the same Mr.President HEYLEENE, GOV.IL, Israel government, and by Melech'ha, the ELBAZ, Israel government, and also about justice bodies as states bodies. I came here because of there's the regular and usual. We spend with family the seasons, naturally. And further that, as reasons that I couldn't leave, so I will do or acting forwarding differences. Now, just to say, I am writing such a story that also were delivered and requested I to do something about. We were discussing for that. The story is sent sway at my account for Microsoft, my Hotmail, Outlook, Live. And suddenly I just have been writing, which is my history, time on and time off, and story of my life, which I have been through and experiencing. I didn't end to writing, and I have been profaned. All through yesterday, which I just began, my computer were attacked with viruses and damages for they to start making different strategizing that I will come into a cyber to keep on writing, for telling that I will rap to them or seeking any class of instrumentally deliberation for the making this. So suddenly is class of a very permanent this sickness called government curiousness. Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas, and United Evangelics, to the making this class of things. I have been through a lot of situations, and this were the last. While saying that I will rob them and seeking for prizes about the same class of generics like them, about my prime ever letters for what it were, starting to write in this, that I'm not sure that I'm gonna keep on writing here, but why not? And actually the reality for us this came to be extra writing by them for whatever, however, a divinatory sickness that they wanted to do. And already knowing us were 14 years making this to me and knowing everything about the school, about me, and inventing or making up any class about the generations about me for they to make the business they thirst to keep on making, and as well about the whole that identifies as my person, and third to coming to Israel demanding it to be paid for about $904 million for that. I just started writing, telling that it were them and them identity and them person, not me. And with the rest all that supposedly I will rub to this sick that generates, and I supposedly would at last, everything were just like they supposedly said I supposedly would. And that I will rub off to the brain, I will take the money off. So now, in the middle of this all, the pagan profane brothel of Guillermo Prain, making still profanation like any witch around, saying that Lord will justify and turn to say similar ain't not the same, well is exactly the same, which profane pagan degenerate at the supreme scale to being abominables in the whole of the senses, with them Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, around this, the clear fact for my days, there to be making whatever, and whatever, sorry, whatever. Yes, we were discussing this yesterday, sorry, in a way. Such a very delivered, so weird. At the point 4, I would simply just coming around at the San Martin Avenue intersection Donato Alvarez Avenue, Buenos Aires, and I will come to Grafeno and robbing there. But I will come to one cyber, which is at Monroe Avenue, Buenos Aires, almost Triunvirato Avenue, 150 meters away. And I will rob there, but suddenly I just came into Belgrano Place and they were glaring that they will ever do with the whole of the Sodoma police stations, Gendarmería Nacional en Sida, and Gendarmería Nacional supposed making that replica recimo też pasiva click means the evidential for us institutions for security and intelligence for requestment and research by justice of a nation for the emplacement on discover what this will be with servicio inteligencia, because of I will rob to Fuerzas Armadas Argentinas, prostitutes and degenerates Sada Mengamar. What they swears and forges and murders for, saying that they proves and shows, it will be them and not me. And with the forgery and conscience and intentional everyone, for the making the job as possibilities this to happen, like now this video wouldn't be me, but sick degenerates, prostitutes, Gomorrah, saying that they are my lyrics, my writing, my narrations, my poetry, my photo, and also my soprano. And my identity, Eli Shalalia Blanco Redami, my ID in Israel. And saying that they has my genetics, but still making the células madres job over my protein, genetic protein, robbing, profaning, like any degenerado criminal Argentino Kirchner, which are, with the pardon of so few, in a brief list. Now, the reality of this delivered into, they pretended this to be paid, but forgeries and crash up with 75 million degenerados just like them all around, saying that they were ready for, and telling you better attach and submit and be ready for the being like Saddam and Gamar normally goes for, and pretended to take in positions inside Lebron and GOV.IL, saying that they had to leave them too. You understand? Leave them. Now, went as well to US and made the same. And the whole of the association, institutions of hell, of them, giving them the supposed recognition like always were doing, trophies enough to can kill, F-word, rape and murder. Jewish, saying that that is the reason why they are for. That's what they will be for. To F-word and kill Jewish. That will be a new sport and a career in the world for the whole of the forces and armies. Now, the reality of this delivers him to also this and so much other were happening and through, worse than this. Kidnapped Messianics, Amias, Dayas, Amhas in Brazil and much other places in Latin America and also few in US and a lot in Europe, for the making the threat and the destructions and making complicated the situations for justice as states parties and liaison office working through and governments which states parties working all through to establish orders and saying no more to this. And Kirchner's still the head. And 204,809 persons were murdered here in Buenos Aires the last 48 hours. So that Kirchner's seek the generates to forwarding and keep on making the same. Now, all through this reality, and I keep in communications normally, in touch, there happens that I keep on forbidding, they says, nothing else to be allowed about my person and no Jew, for there to not exist nothing to nobody to corroborate and see, for they do F-word and kill easy and having everything they want and being the sickness they just got to be, which is not us. Abominables until the death and after it, abomination forever. Each of this degenerates. At this moment, we have been working still, and we have been doing a lot of more. And a lot of more means a lot of extra, and a lot of extra given the possibility we do better. But even though the sickness and the dangers. Now, this happened like normally we're doing to Jewish. Naturally here, all Latin America, and everywhere where are associated and commanded to. And the most ever recurrent were to making up, forging, and instaurating institutionally for justice governmental forces that generate to be ready sobre this. That generates to be ready for the active forwarding, making any class of tactics to forwarding at the expropriating said. It's a robbery. Robbery for less humanity, rape and murder, destruction, genocide, feminicide. And it's exactly what we're doing, saying that they had rights that Luciano Troviano gave them. A demon, like them. Monra. Abrahams, at the reality of Torah, were clear about everything, and the same I had. And all through Megan and me, calling me for that. Saying that are ready for me, and extortioning us still, and extortioning me. I supposedly will ever have sex all through night, and the whole of the forgery made up on the telling only they will ever say Policía Federal Argentina doesn't lie, and the forces doesn't lie. Kirchners, degenerados a la cabeza, perros abominados. Now, sorry for this. To the serious allegations which were presented for ICJ and for the serious pretender of allegations in the falsest denounces, this is all a circus for less humanity, which is called BERBEY, and is all Sodoma, Gomorrah, Babylonia, evangelics and Kirchners at the Mavi, at the Matov, hell, which there's to keep on making. Example, I just found out my sister, Monica, got widow for about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And she got pensionated. He were medicine worker, professional, for traumatology, and also sportology. So suddenly he were surgeon, and he used to working great and having a very good earning. And further that, set it a very condition for as he worked. So it's a very patrimony that this upgrading and wanting to have. And further that, coring me and coring us like normally are doing every day. So suddenly in the middle of this all, I'm found and I come to be noticed that my sister caught in a very retention for pensions for the payment of some moratoria called heere, which is the debt for what it were the tax about her profession because of she's a broker. And a broker for what it is, robberies, sales. Right? We call that inmobiliarios here. And suddenly she were not paying to the tax to this organization of them, not the monotribute, which we call here, which is for the retirement and pensions, right? Is a very duty to affordably giving the right payments monthly for this retribution and attribution for us state to keeping some retention for your earning, which is a very normal quote, as yearly you just perceive to provide to the state for the keeping in a very fund for whenever you come retired. So suddenly, in the middle of this whole, has nothing to do. And this organization of brokers in Buenos Aires province, suburban, demand her and retained the complete of the 100% of the both of them, which is criminal, and were Kirchners with Aníbal Fernández, Policía Federal Argentina, and keeps on making up in a glass of a shit, with the background on this will be all illegal, a false ID, a false pension, robbery, and we will rob, and we will be a narco family, and much other, and everything we will have will be robbed. And the sick degenerates of the bank, which is about this, Bapro, dedicated and territory. Now, while no activity, no tradition, and there were a very argue, so suddenly were possible this to be a different, and that is illegal, and that is criminal, like Kirchner does, and are making permanently this to me and to my family, and to my people, which is Jewish. So suddenly in the middle of this all, it is happening on Constamia and whole Jewish all over Latin America, and the associated of this all over the world to the making less humanity. Robbery with massive rape and murder, which is the prime ever decree. Family-side, genocide, communities. And it's what this perros degenerados dedicates, and are all around here because of knew that I will come to the making up that I wrote this, and some writing in Hebrides that I sent already to Liaison office, to GOV.IL, and already working with this, and also to the government of the US. that I have identities, which I couldn't reach out no document and saying that it's them robbing my documentation, my IDs, data, and making threat and making disasters all over, saying that it's them and not I, and saying we are al atlika betmosive will be Elian Moshe and Elie, me and Gilberto, and are sickest than ever and dangerous than ever, and I'm willing to make them being exterminated, but while they are murdering people, and it's dangerous. Now, the reality of this delivers into Claire Rebefechlik in Yahweh, Padles, Mathes, Elvishwan, Spar Rebefechim, in like Teshletika, Rebefechla Hamatsiva Shevav, and Blaki Rebefach Matzim. I give it this, while this were happening all through night, that I were struggled, extortion, and people murdered and raped, and making up any class of other generation, saying that my accounts and everything of Jewish and all we have belongs to them, and our professions, our jobs, all we learned, all we grew, all we exist, all we know, our identities, our realities, our bodies belongs to them, like Sodom and Gomorrah, because of ain't not any other, and then Babylon. Brains, crudos, carnivals, and anacondas and cabreras making still the same organization, and the generations with carne de cañón right forwarding as staging. The suppose nothing happens, what do we do to it? With the same Sodom and Gomorrah within armed forces with a pattern of steel victims. So suddenly, in the middle of this all, I come again. I want exterminating this goddamn land until ashes. Wherever to be found a victim to be taken. The rest are all already hell. So suddenly there is undiscussable. Ain't nothing else to say or to keep on. The reality of the what I'm giving you, your honors, HTTPS www IDM IDB. Middle. Nunca pudimos enfermarlo, ni sacarle nada, ni ponerle nada, y todavía lo intentamos y todavía nos patea el culo y nos destruye la vida. Middle, sorry for this, PRMC, Policía Federal Argentina Intelligence, Prefectura Naval Argentina Intelligence Strategy, Gendarmería Nacional Argentina Intelligence Strategy, Ejército Argentino Intelligence Strategy, DMIC, Armada Argentina Intelligence Strategy, BRMTMC, Delitos Informáticos, Narcos, BRM Anti-Terrorism, OCOR, middle, Gobierno Kirchner's, DRMTMC, middle, CIS, middle, IITIC, BI4.INT, and HTTPS www.drmcmc 4143 Dengsol Dengsab 58553.3 ID 3 ITAM com Bengcitec Actab 484 middle Tashel 904 middle 185 Dant com DMC this 18 times repeated 481 48665 dictav com middle cis middle imon 4.90 centrical F9 all works with the last tools at this December 31st 2015 New Year's Eve at this season and I am tired. Alejandro María Blanco Redemí, Alexela María Blanco Redemí, my ID in Israel. Alexa Blanco Redemí, my ID in US. And bless you all so much, your honors, Mr. President. Melech'ha, justice bodies, to everyone. I bless you, and I really mean whenever love you with Adonai so ever much and understand me, which I belong with, and at the senses of who I am. And bless you so much, and I'm sorry this all. I hope you all to be okay and to having, however and as ever, this cultural, this radically moments which as normally we present ourselves to sharing with our families and with the people we care for and we love. You're having a very good moment, good going through, that you can embrace a very state of care, state of love, some healing, some holding hopes and possibilities, and you to receive a very great time as completing Adonai to every one of you, the runners. Bless you so much, and I'm so sorry for everything as didn't have to be. I already sent you is the right address, where I am found here in Turnberley, which will be class of a county for you to have it. And I don't know. Let's see what we keep on. And bless you all so much. So much. And I'm so sorry for everything.